In this lesson, we're going to provide a quick review of vendor relationships and concepts surrounding costs, contracts, service documentation, and more inside the world of cloud computing. First, we need to cover formal requests, including requests for information, requests for proposals, and requests for quotes. Now, a request for information, or RFI, is a document that's used to gather information from potential suppliers or vendors. The purpose in sending out a request for information is to gain a basic understanding of the vendor's capabilities and offerings, as well as being able to determine whether or not that vendor is capable of meeting the organization's needs. A request for information is often used as a preliminary step before issuing a RFP, or request for proposal, or an RFQ, request for quote. Now, an RFP, or request for proposal, is a document that's used to solicit proposals from potential suppliers or vendors. A request for proposal is typically a more comprehensive document than a simple request for information, because it's going to provide you with a detailed description of the organization's requirements and their objectives. The purpose of a request for proposal is to allow potential suppliers to submit detailed proposals, including the information about their products or services, their pricing, their delivery, and their support. The proposals are then going to be evaluated and compared to be able to determine which is the best solution for your particular organization. Now, a request for quote, or RFQ, is a document that's used to request quotes from a potential supplier or vendor. Unlike a request for proposal, a request for quotes is going to focus solely on pricing, and it does not require vendors to provide detailed proposals. Requests for quotes are going to be commonly used when the organization has a well-defined requirement and is really just out there looking for the best price for a specific product or service. Second, we need to talk about service documents, like a statement of work and a service level agreement. Now, a statement of work is a document that outlines the scope, objectives, deliverables, and timeline for a specific project or service. A service level agreement, on the other hand, is a document that defines the level of service that a customer should expect from their service provider. Now, third, we have the differences between open source and proprietary technologies. Open source software and technologies are a type of software that's released with its source code available to the public. This means that anybody can access it, modify it, and distribute the code, provided that they adhere to the licensing agreement. Proprietary software, on the other hand, is a software that's controlled and owned by a single entity, and it's usually going to be some kind of company or corporation. The source code of proprietary software is not available to the public, and it can only be used under specific license agreements. Now, fourth, we have expenditures, specifically capital expenditures, or CapEx, and operational expenditures, or OpEx. Now, capital expenditures, or CapEx, refers to expenses incurred by a company for the acquisition of long-term assets. This includes things like land, buildings, equipment, and technology that we expect to have a useful life of more than 1 year. In the context of cloud computing, this can include the costs associated with purchasing new hardware or software that's going to be used to access those cloud services, or it might be associated with costs for upgrading existing infrastructure to support our cloud computing migration. Operational expenditures, or OpEx, on the other hand, refers to the costs incurred by a company in its day-to-day operations. In the world of cloud computing, operating expenditures can include things like the costs associated with cloud services, including storage, compute time, and data transfer costs. Fifth, we have fixed and variable costs. Now, fixed expenses are costs that remain constant over a given period of time, regardless of the level of usage or production. Now, in cloud computing, fixed expenses may include the costs associated with the underlying infrastructure, such as hardware and software, as well as costs associated with the initial setup or configuration of your cloud environment. Variable expenses, on the other hand, are going to be costs that are changing based on the usage or production levels. In the world of cloud computing, variable expenses can include costs associated with the actual usage of your cloud environment. This includes things like data transfer fees, compute time, and storage costs. Sixth, we have different licensing models, including perpetual, subscription, bring your own license, and license managers that we need to look at. Perpetual licensing refers to a type of software licensing model where the customer pays a one-time fee for a license to use that software for as long as the customer wants. Now, subscription licensing is a type of software licensing model where the customer pays a recurring fee to use that software. Bring your own license, or BYOL, is a licensing model in a cloud computing environment where the customers are going to use their existing software licenses in that cloud provider's environment. And a license manager is simply a software tool that's used to manage and track all these different types of software licenses. Seventh, we have contracting. Now, contracts in cloud computing refer to the legal agreements between an organization and a cloud provider that outlines the terms and conditions of using the cloud provider's services. This can include various areas like data ownership, data security, intellectual property, service levels, service availability, disaster recovery and business continuity, fees, and termination. Eighth, we have billing. Now, as cloud technology continues to evolve, so have the billing models used by cloud service providers. When choosing a cloud service provider, it's important to consider several factors related to billing, including what pricing model they use, their cost calculators that are available for you to use and figure out how much you might be paying, and their data transfer fees if there are any. Ninth, we have human capital. This includes things like training and professional development. Now, human capital refers to the skills, knowledge, and abilities that individuals bring to the workplace and that are valuable to us as employers. Now, this encompasses the education, training, experience, and other attributes that make individuals productive and capable of performing various tasks and jobs in our organization. Now, training is a crucial aspect of developing the human capital within your organization. By using training, you can enable employees to gain the necessary knowledge and skills to perform their jobs more effectively. Professional development is another critical area of investment in the world of human capital. In cloud computing, it's really important for us to continuously develop skills and knowledge to be able to keep up with the rapidly changing technology landscape. This includes things like cloud security, cloud development, DevOps, migration, and administration, and all these are areas that you should focus on in your professional development. So, remember, vendor relationships are really important to consider when you're entering this world of cloud computing. By ensuring you have the right contracts and agreements in place, you're going to be able to maximize your return on investment and ensure that the cloud provider you select can meet your organization's specific goals and requirements.